This is Two Guys Talking About with Kevin Kolbe and Bill Jordan.
Hey, welcome to Two Guys Talking About. I'm Kevin.
I'm Bill.
And I know you keep telling me to pause. Take two. Thank you. Welcome to Two Guys Talking About. I'm Kevin.
I'm Bill.
So today we're talking about teachers because it's national... Okay, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. So the first week in May, the first Monday through Friday, is National Teacher Appreciation Week.
As every week should be.
Well, that's a good point. So we don't appreciate you the second week.
No.
Or the week
51 weeks out of the year. Teachers,
you're on your own.
You're on your own.
It was also founded by the National PTA in 1984.
I loved my teachers. I had great teachers.
You never, ever had a teacher you didn't like?
Oh, I had teachers.
Just between you and me.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had... I don't think I ever had a teacher I was like, oh my gosh, I can't stand Mr. So-and-so or Ms. So-and-so. I don't think I did. I had ones that were better than others, and I had some that were not, looking back, great teachers, or for that matter, memorable. But many of my teachers I remember by name, and I can remember things they said, and I can remember specific things they taught me. Favorite teachers from elementary school into high school. Where I went to school, we didn't have middle school or junior high. We went from elementary school, ending at 7th grade, to boom, you were at the high school in 8th grade.
Bang, you're in.
Yeah. So, elementary school teachers, high school teachers, probably more high school teachers because maybe you're being, you're in that age where you're starting to put some stuff together and, elementary school, you're just trying to,
Not get beat up.
Yeah, well, that was mainly high school. In fact, that's been my whole life.
All 12 years not get beat up.
That's been my whole life. Elementary school, I can remember Miss Jones, Miss Boswell, Miss Butler. Halfway through my 3rd grade year, we moved, and so I changed schools. And I had a teacher, I transferred into a class, Mrs. Russell taught. And she was extremely strict. And I remember thinking mean. So I was what? 8?
I don't know.
8, something like that. And every day...
I don't do math.
The boys and girls had to stand and be inspected. We had to pass inspection. I don't remember what the girls what they had to do to pass inspection. But for the boys, 3 things. Clean fingernails. What 3rd grade boy has fingernails? We're all like this all the time because we're around 3rd grade girls. So we're ripping our nails out. The other one was we all had to carry a comb. I got nothing for you.
Wait a minute. Was it like a... Was it a big comb? Or was it
I think I was given a pass on that one. And then the third thing, the boys had to all carry a handkerchief. And to this day, I don't go out of the house without a hanky.
So you still have one now?
I have one now.
You have a handkerchief
I have
right
a handkerchief right now.
Should we show? Oh.
It's right there.
Okay.
And this is burned into my brain since the middle of 3rd grade. I'm telling you. So this is the impact that teachers can have.
So that's when it really started for you.
What? Carrying a handkerchief?
Hanky. Hanky or handkerchief? Or handkerchief, if you say.
I think I probably say handkerchief.
Handkerchief.
Handkerchief. I don't say handkerchief. Handkerchief.
But that's the way it's written.
I know. It's just like people don't say kindergarten. They say kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
That's why they do that.
So I'm fascinated that you don't have any teachers that you have bad memories of. Now, in fairness, I've got some really great teachers. In fact, there's at least 2 that I'm connected with on Facebook that are phenomenal.
That's fantastic.
A guy named Ben Dennis. Even sounds odd today calling him Ben. Mr. Dennis, I apologize. I actually used your full name publicly. But he was my English teacher. Always challenged me with like creative writing. And it was really good. And
What happened?
Well, I wasn't very good. But Mr. Hamlet, or sometimes we called him Coach Hamlet. Those 2 teachers more than any always left an incredible influence. And those are the 2 that I'm connected with. Mr. Hamlet, Mr. Dennis, thank you very much for the impression. Funny story, though, about Hamlet. He was, before teaching, he was a professional wrestler.
Awesome.
Yeah. And of course, as a high school student, you thought, oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah.
He was a bad guy in one state and a good guy in another state.
Aren't we all?
Well, there we go. Yeah. He had this physique that. Okay.
He's a walking V. I know where you're going. I know where you're going. He's a
right.
walking V. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, he didn't take any crap in the classroom. He demanded discipline, but he was always loving and supportive, and he would push people. So those are the two. I mean, I had a lot of great teachers. I had some losers, but I also had some great teachers.
Right.
But those two, Mr. Dennis and Mr. Hamlet were phenomenal.
It's funny when you mention about the discipline. I think my favorite teachers were the tougher teachers, the ones who did demand discipline and adherence to rules. There were some lax teachers, and there was, bedlam in the classroom, and I was not a big bedlam guy. So, and I also appreciated teachers with a sense of humor because I tended to be like a class clown, or I loved cracking up the teachers. But two teachers in particular I had in high school. One was a gym teacher. The first day in gym class, again, this is 8th grade. You got a bunch of 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds in 8th grade gym class. We're getting our lockers. They issue us our t-shirt, our shorts, a gym bag, and an athletic supporter, also known as a jockstrap. And all of us are holding this thing up going,
What the heck is this?
what do you do with this? So he instructed us on, what goes where. We go and do
The finer art of wearing a jock strap.
Well, it's quite puzzling.
It's a different show.
You got one big strap, and then you got two. Look it up. There's a YouTube how-to video on this, I'm sure. So anyway, we go through gym class outside, and I run inside afterwards, and I've locked my locker combination in my locker. So I go back out. Hey, Coach Bird, I've locked my locker combination in my locker. Okay, Jordan, go on in. I'll be right there. I turn, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing stars. I'm like, ah. And what he did to me was that. His fingers were as big around as this can. And we still, to this day, when guys who were in his class get together, we talk about the Coach Bird thwack. But we all look back at that with fondness, and we all laugh about it now. He was fantastic. I had him for 2 years. I love Coach Bird. And another...
So despite the fact that he gave you a concussion...
several. That wasn't the only... That was just the first. He got me once in a double whammy because I flinched when he did this. And I went... And he went, you flinched. Yeah. Wham! I loved him. I loved him. Mr. Crippen was my geography teacher, actually for 2 years, and not because I failed geography, but because I then took an advanced geography. He gave me a love for countries and cultures and made me kind of want to travel. And he told me things that I've always remembered. Now, whether they still hold true or not, I remember Mr. Crippen in class asking us what was the number one cause of death in the desert: drowning.
In the desert?
Yes. And I'll explain why, just as Mr. Crippen. And this is in my head now. People who go into like hike in the desert and they camp, where do they typically camp? In the coolness of a riverbed, a dry riverbed.
Yeah.
Well, the desert has rain too, like cloudbursts. The cloudburst, they're so intense that then that riverbed floods.
Really?
Yeah.
And so they drown.
Yeah.
Well, now you just kind of brought the whole mood down.
No, it's good stuff. Just don't go camping in riverbeds in the desert. Unless you're with Mr. Crippen. And he's still around, by the way. When I was on the air on the radio, I called him one time with a geography question, and I had him on the air.
Oh, that's cool.
That was a blast. So he's still around.
Well, and I need to throw this out there too, is that my lovely wife is a teacher. She's got her master's in education. So not only is she smarter than me, she has the document to prove it. When we met, though, she was teaching, and so I've always had respect for teachers. We just want to say thank you to all teachers out there that currently you're teaching, past teachers, and any of you thinking of teaching. We really appreciate what you do.
Well, here's the neat thing, too. I mean, these are official, learned teachers in school. We all should be teachers. With our kids and the teachers I've had in my career and just in life. There's so many teachers, but official teachers. There's that great quote of, teaching is the only profession that provides the other professions. It must be an amazing feeling to be in front of a class of kids and you're trying to teach some concept and to see the light bulbs go off.
Yeah.
You certainly don't do it for the money, you do it for the passion.
That's true.
We cannot possibly thank you enough.
Thank you so much for being a part of this. We would love to hear what you think. If you have some great memories of teachers or something like that, leave a comment wherever you're watching this on twoguystalkingabout.com, Facebook, YouTube, even the podcast. The best way is just connect with us wherever you are so we can hear what you think about what we're talking about. Till next time, I'm Kevin.
I'm Bill.
Thanks for watching.
This has been Two Guys Talking About with Kevin Kolbe and Bill Jordan. If you have an idea or comment or you're interested in sponsoring the show, connect and find out more at twoguystalkingabout.com. Two Guys Talking About is produced by Kolbe Creative Media.